Good afternoon and welcome to Dow Diamond. Jeff Doan along with you for the Covenant Healthcare sponsored pregame show here on Bay County TV. We've got a fun matchup this afternoon as the John Glenn Bobcats will be the home team at Dow Diamond. They will be entertaining the Tawas area Braves. Both teams have had some struggles on the year, but whenever you make it to the plush, cozy confines here of Dow Diamond, magic can happen. As the Tawas area Braves are going to start this game by pitching Drake Nelson. And we have got Brendan Beaver throwing for the John Glenn Bobcats. So both pitchers have had some success on the year, so we're hoping for a great matchup tonight. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. The best is yet to come here on Bay County TV.
Ow, ow, ouch! My hip, my knee, my joints feel out of whack. Ow, ow, oh my! The pain, I can't take it anymore.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Dow Diamond. I'm Jeff Doan along with Jared and Natalie Doan on the cameras and Nick Page doing the producing and directing. Wearing the home white with the blue trim. The John Glenn Bobcats, they are entertaining the Tawas area Braves. Glad to have you along here on BCTV. First pitch of the game from Brendan Beaver is a fastball at 81 miles an hour, 0-1 count on the leadoff hitter. Right down the middle again, Drake Nelson finds himself in an 0-2 count. Brendan Beaver starting to just throw bullets here from the start. Comes with an off-speed pitch. A little snapping Charlie there. 3 pitches and the first out of the first inning. John Glenn Bobcats off to a very good start. Dylan Mockty is the second hitter. Boy, 4 pitches and 4 strikes as Dylan can't quite catch up to that chest-high heat. Again, 82 miles an hour. And again, staying upstairs, that ball is chest-high, right on the upper reaches of the strike zone. No balls and 2 strikes. Ball is bunted foul on an 0-2 count, which would result in strike number 3. So 6 pitches and 2 outs. As I'm going to tell you what, Brendan Beaver is just getting down to business. And 6 pitches, got 2 outs. Brendan Woodford, as he is the shortstop. And the first ball of the game delivered from Brendan Beaver. Little outside as he came with the off-speed pitch. 2 balls and no strikes on that 68-mile-an-hour offering. Just missed on the inside corner. If they thought for a minute that Brendan Whitford was looking on the outside so he could stretch those arms out and get something, they were trying to saw him off, but at 3-0 count. And a strike on the outside corner. Takes a little bit off the fastball, coming in at 80 miles an hour. And yes, we do have a jugs gun tonight, folks. It isn't Jeff Doan's eyeballs trying to figure out just how fast they're going. There is a high, lazy foul that will be a souvenir. Somebody from Alabaster caught that last foul ball. Count now full at 3-2. Wind up in the pitch, another off-speed pitch coming back from 3-0. 1-2-3, top of the first inning. The John Glenn Bobcats will be back for their bottom of the first at-bats in just a moment, right here on Bay County TV. AAA Transport and Limousine is the Great Lakes Bay region's most reliable and requested service. We provide many types of transportation services, from non-emergency medical, wheelchair accessible, school transport services, and shuttle services. Our company strives to provide exceptional service to our customers. Our services are tailored to each person or company's specific needs. For the last 10 years, we have pushed the mark higher and higher to give the best service possible. Rest assured that you are in safe hands when you ride with AAA Transport and Limousine. Back here in time for the bottom of the first inning. Leading off for the John Glenn Bobcats will be Rory O'Hare, shortstop, three-sport athlete. Just a little bit high and outside for the first offering. Drake Nelson, the pitcher for the Tawas area Braves. Just down at the bottom of the strike zone, just a scotch short. 2 balls, no strikes. Last offering at 69 miles an hour. Another fastball at 69 miles an hour just trims the outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike to Rory O'Hare, the shortstop for the John Glenn Bobcats. Just inside. Rory O'Hare just got the hands out of the way. That one just about nicked the fingies. 3 balls, 1 strike. O'Hare puts a charge into one, and that ball is well hit out into center field. Over the center fielder's head. Rory O'Hare is going to cruise into second base with a leadoff double. As Rudy Frank out there tried to get after that. And that ball carried quite a bit more. He was cruising over. He says, man, I look out at the flags. There's not a lot going on with those flags, but that ball got up in the jet stream and had a little jolt to it. Next batter up, Brendan Brill. Right on the outside corner with a first offering of 70 miles an hour from Drake Nelson. Runner on second, nobody out. Bottom of the first for the John Glenn Bobcats. There's another well-hit ball that is going to die in center field. Nice job that time. As Rudy Frank got a nice jump on that ball. Very solidly hit. And ends up coming back. And now you've got John Hardy, the big fella, coming up. And we know his ability to swat the ball. He's up to the plate with 1 down, and a runner on second base still being O'Hare. That ball's got a little tail on it, and that is going to find a hole. And it's going to get by the center fielder, Rudy Frank, cruising into second base with the first RBI of the ball game is Big John Hardy. As he'll come to the sideline and tell Coach Hart, hey, what'd you think of that? Oh, yeah, I'll give you this while I'm there, too. So Ben Caduti is the next hitter as he's in cleanup now with a 1-0 score. And the John Glenn Bobcats with another runner in scoring position. One ball from Drake Nelson. Drake's not trying to fool the hitters. He just wants to hope his defense can make some plays. And that ball is hit in the outfield, and a very nice play that time by Dakota. As Dakota Shawn does a nice job of pulling that in. He had a great beat on that ball and kept his eye on it till the end. Had to go down into the slide to get that, but great concentration and a huge out for the Tawas area Braves. Now with 2 down, still that runner on second, Hardy. Bottom of the first inning. Drake Nelson just delivers the first pitch a little bit high and outside. And that batter is number 15, Cody Higgins. As Cody shoots one through, Hardy is coming at third base. We could have an opportunity for a play at the plate. Hardy slides in. Throw over the top. And now we're looking for a play at third base. Not in time. Slid off the bag and was called out on the play. Great job by the third baseman to stay with that tag. And Mr. Mike Martin over there in great position to make that call. Came all the way from his slot position. And at the end of the first inning, it's the John Glenn Bobcats 2, the Tawas area Braves nothing. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
Oh, hey, you got one of those insurance apps too? You know how this thing works?
No, sorry. Ben, please.
Wow, you can talk to your app? That's pretty cool.
Not an app, it's my agent.
In this moment,
No, I'm fine, thanks.
it's good to know you have a trusted, independent auto owner's insurance agent who's there when you need them.
Great.
Man, I gotta get one of those.
Auto Owners Insurance.
Plum Harris Insurance Agency in Bay City is your local independent auto owners insurance agency. Back for the top of the second inning. The Tawas area Braves getting ready to come up to bat, and Dakota Shaw, the left fielder, fresh off making a great catch in left field. Comes up to bat. Boy, just a little tardy on that 79-mile-an-hour fastball. Brendan Beaver just letting it fly here early on. Coming with the off-speed stuff, really keeping the batters off balance. That last Charlie was snapped off at 67 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes. And that is 3 pitches and another strikeout. As the first batter of the second inning comes up empty. Jared Bodis. Next up to bat, the number 5 hitter. Son of George Bodis. Long-time fellow broadcaster with me up in the days of WKJC. That's going back a few years, but great young man, and we'll see what type of talent this young Bodis has got as he hits the ball to third base. He's cruising down to first base. The throw just beats him by a step and a half. 2 up and 2 down in the top of the second inning. As the John Glenn Bobcats on top 2-0. Rudy Frank, the next batter for the Tawas area Braves, as he's going to try and take those goose eggs off the board. As Brendan Beaver just continues to just throw darts. Just when the batter's looking for a heater, then they snaps off a little curveball, little Charlie, and balls and 2 strikes. We're going to find out in just a minute if his MO is to throw that off-speed pitch on 0-2. And strike number 3. Quick work of the Tawas area Braves in their half of the second inning. Back for the bottom of the second. It's 2-0. John Glenn over the Tawas area Braves. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
Where did this rash come from? Hold on, let me see. Could be bed bugs. Oh. Mom, Grant says I have bed bugs.
Let's see what the doctor says.
Introducing Covenant Virtual Care. Real-time video doctor visits, e-prescriptions, and follow-up. Now extraordinary care comes to you.
See, it's just poison ivy. Smart advanced.
Learn more at covenantvirtualcare.com.
Back here on Bay County TV, Joaquin Facundo is in the on-deck circle. But Weibel will be up first. Blake Weibel, another left-hand hitting Bobcat from John Glenn. And again, boy, these kids just love to crowd the plate. Really intimidates a lot of pitchers who then normally don't throw a whole lot on the inside third. And just as I say that, going right to the inside third, and Trey Nelson says, "Take that, Mr. Doan. I'll pitch on the inside third just to show you I can do it." A 65-mile-an-hour fastball. Here's the windup in the pitch, just outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, top of the second inning. John Glenn in the home white with the blue trim, and the Tawas area Braves in their familiar red with the white trim. Just out in front. Weibel couldn't sit back on that last offering, and he finds himself in the hole at 1-2. Good pitchers count right now. See exactly what Nelson is going to do here on this 1-2 count. Is he going to try and get him to fish one out? Or is he going to come right after him? Taking his time right now as Nelson really ponders his next move with the windup here in the pitch. He came off speed, and that one misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Weibel with a good eye at the plate. I like the pace of this game early on, bottom of the second inning. Just misses on the outside corner by a skosh. Count is full at 3-2, and Weibel had a serious good eye on that pitch because it was close. Here comes the full count delivery. It's in the dirt, and coming back from a 1-2 count is Weibel getting a walk to lead off the bottom of the second inning. Joaquin Facundo now. Another multi-sport athlete. You probably will hear that over and over from both of these teams. You know, you've got athletes, and those athletes almost play at a competitive level at all 3 sports to keep things competitive for their schools. There's one down in the dirt. A beautiful throw to second base is just a little bit late, but again sliding through the bag is Weibel. Mike Martin out there in perfect position says, "Oh, you were safe and you overslid the bag." And they got you. So very nice job that time holding the tag and getting the first out of that second inning. 1 ball, no strike count on Facundo. And take nothing away from Mockty on that throw from the catcher's position. That thing was shoe top high right on the bag. Boy, you could not have made a more picture-perfect throw. So credit Mockty on that, the Tawas area Brave catcher with a gem. Just outside, 3 balls and no strikes the count as the sun peeks out for the first time today here at Dow Diamond. What a beautiful facility and a great opportunity for these young men to play in a facility like this. And ball 4 as Joaquin Facundo will trot down to first base. And that will bring up to bat number 2, Cameron Rank. Cameron hitting in that number 8 position today for Coach Jeff Hart. Boy, that ball right back up the middle. Nice play at short. Twin killing at first base. Double play as that one went to 4-6-3. That one went from Martin to Whitford to Botus. The twin killing. And we have got just a little excitement at the end of that play. And I saw him trip over first base. Don't know if that was over Botus's foot or whether that was over the bag itself. Obviously, I know what the Bobcat feels that happened to that, but you got to keep things under control. Tempers cooled back down. We'll now take a break and come back for the 3rd inning on Bay County TV.
In 1916, Warren Miller chose auto owner's insurance for his new car. In 1947, his son made the same choice, as did his grandson in 1979. And today, his great-granddaughter did the same. As we reflect on where we've been, we're grateful to our independent agents and to those who put their trust in us, and to the generations who will. Auto Owners Insurance.
Plum Harris Insurance Agency in Bay City is your local independent auto owners insurance agency. Good afternoon and welcome back to Dow Diamond. Jeff Doan along with Jared and Natalie Doan on the cameras. Nick Page producing and directing our show. After 2 innings of play, the John Glenn Bobcats in the home white with the blue trim on top 2-0. And the first pitch of the top of the 3rd inning to James Gerber is inside. 1 ball and no strike. On the outside third, tremendous job by Beaver of moving that ball in and out and up and down in this game so far has really kept the Tawas batters a little bit off balance. Foul ball back on the screen. As Brendan Beaver finds himself up in front now with a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Just snapped a curveball that did not hook back. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes on James Gerber, the 3rd baseman for the Tawas area Braves. A little low and outside, count goes full. As Brendan Beaver going to a full count. Probably won't see anything special here, just right down the middle and try and hit it. And Gerber helped him out by going outside the strike zone. There's another strikeout, unofficially the 4th of the ball game for Brendan Beaver. First out in the top of the 3rd. Chris Taylor, the right fielder, now will hit in that number 8 position. As Beaver really in control here early on, just a little bit high. Check down with from Martin to Martin. It sounds like a law firm. Jim Martin to Mike Martin. Did not offer on that first pitch. And just inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Beaver trying to work the corners right now. He's going to have to come in with something a little special right now. Chris Taylor better be ready to jack up and let it fly. Just missed again. As another 3-ball count for Brendan Beaver. Got to have Chris Taylor, I'm certain, going to be looking at this 3-0 pitch. I don't believe he's going to swat at it. Down 2-0 and just inside, ball 4. So the first base runner for the Tawas area Braves. David Martin, number 12, the number 9 hitter, and second baseman for the Tawas area Braves. The left-handed Beaver into the windup and just inside. Brendan Beaver just seems like the last half a dozen pitches has struggled to find the strike zone. He's got to get back to that release point that through the first 6 outs was flawless. And he says, never fear there, Mr. Doan. I'm going to put one right down Michigan Avenue. And it was a perfect pitch and a great take that time for the number 9 hitter, David Martin. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tried to come with a high and outside pitch, 78-mile-an-hour fastball, and high and outside both. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. From the set, quick look to first, and a pitch on the outside corner, waist high. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brendan Beaver trying to work his way back into the control that he mastered for the first 2 innings of this ball game. Right by the number 9 hitter, David Martin, a little tardy on the heater, as that will be the second out of the top of the 3rd inning. Drake Nelson, number 1. And the top of the order as well. Very apropos with his number 1. Beaver just seeing that runner at first base doing a little twitching. Took his concentration off a home plate. The first pitch wide. Just on the outside corner again. 1 ball and 1 strike. As Taylor inches off first base for Tawas. Just a little bit high. Boy, that thing was 76 miles an hour, but really had a nice snap to the catcher's mitt. Sante. 1 ball, 1 strike. Just on the inside corner of the plate. Beaver doing a nice job again. Moving the ball inside and out and upside and down. He's got it all. The corners working. Now with a 1 ball and 2 strike, if he holds suit, he's going to throw something off speed here. Nice bloop into left field. And unable to be caught by the left fielder, Cameron Rank. Coming around and scoring from first base is Chris Taylor. And just in 1 swing, a double, a RBI, and the first hit of the ball game for the Tawas area Braves to bring this score down to 2-1. Very nice job that time by Drake Nelson. Dylan Mockty, now the second hitter and the catcher. He's an opportunity right now. He's got a little pay dirt out on the second base. And there's this lazy fly ball to left field. And Rank out there to cruise under it. And that's the third out of the top of the third inning. Tawas area Braves hit pay dirt, and they score 1. It's 2-1 right now. The John Glenn Bobcats over the Tawas area Braves. Back for the bottom of the third in just a moment on Bay County TV.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
Back here for the bottom of the third inning. I'm Jeff Doan. Glad to have you along here from Dow Diamond. As the John Glenn Bobcats batting in the bottom of the third, up 2-1. As the batter is Sontag. Just a little bit high. Sontag, the number 9 hitter and catcher. 1 ball, no strike count. Just a little bit low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Boy, big difference from high school and college. That ball hits the dirt and they toss it back out in the pro game and it gets tossed away. It's got a little scuff on it. Nice pitch that time by Drake Nelson. Down 2-0 in the count, delivers a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Sontag's front elbow right over that inside third of the plate. High and outside with the next delivering, 3-1. Planting that foot way over at the right field side of that pitching mound. There's a little lazy pop fly that will be picked off by David Martin. That ball just hung up long enough for him to get back. Sontag, the first out of the inning. Now back to the top of the inning is Rory O'Hare, the shortstop. Drake Nelson looks in. Lets it fly, 65-mile-an-hour pitch right down the plate. And it's an 0-1 count. Interesting to see, working out of the stretch even with nobody on base. Sometimes pitchers just feel more comfortable not going into the windup. Just a little bit low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, bottom of the third, John Glenn in the home white, up 2-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Right up the middle, Rory O'Hare picks up a single. And with 1 out, that will bring up Brill. As Brendan Brill is the number 2 hitter. O'Hare's got the twitch going at first base. He's going to probably at least occupy part of the mindset of Drake Nelson, the pitcher, which has got to be an advantage for the number 2 hitter, Brill. Right on the outside third, a great pitcher's pitch from Drake Nelson. He says, you know what, I'm not too worried about him at first. I'm just going to fire strikes and let the chips fall. Nice pitch to start the sequence off for Drake Nelson. O'Hare trying to size him up. Here's a short ball hit to shortstop. And that ball hit pretty softly and not cleanly picked up by Brendan Whitford. He had to shoot it over to Botus at first base. I think how slowly it was hit probably would not have turned to deuce anyway. But now you got Mr. Hardy coming up to bat. And we know he's capable of spraying that thing all over that big, expansive outfield grass. Just outside on the first offering. O'Hare at second base, now with 2 outs. John Hardy up to bat. Going the opposite way. Boy, everybody had him played to right field to pull that ball. And if he ends up hitting that thing down the line, big fella might even be able to scamper to third base. One ball and 1 strike with 2 outs again. O'Hare at second base for the John Glenn Bobcats, up 2-1. Things taking just a little bit too long. As Drake Nelson trying to keep O'Hare from getting too big a secondary lead at second base. Took a little too much time and attention. Mr. Hardy steps out and he says, give me a second to refocus here. 1 ball, 1 strike pitch on the outside part of the plate. 2-1. It's exactly where Nelson wanted to hit Mockery. He wanted to hit that glove on the outside third of the plate. Just went a little bit farther outside than he had hoped, but a good hitter's count here at 2-1 for Big John. He pulls that ball just foul. So he's tried the third base line. He's tried the first base line. Now where's he going to go with 2 strikes? Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second. Twos are wild here in the bottom of the third inning. 2-1. John Glenn on top over the Tawas area Braves. Drake Nelson taking his time to get the sign. He brings it to the set. And he thought O'Hare was getting a little bit too lengthy a lead. As Whitford came over there to see if he could slow that progress down. We'll redo the 2-2 pitch. high and outside. And again, you take that much time, and that takes you a lot of times out of your rhythm as a pitcher. And he tried to overshoot that last fastball. It went high and wide at 65 miles an hour. Count is full. O'Hare's going to be on the move here on this pitch. And he'll head back. It's Big John Hardy just a little tardy on that 3-2 pitch. He'll have another opportunity. Mockty coming out for just a second, and he's saying one thing: you got to make a good pitch here, but you got to be careful that you're not playing groove ball here with Big John Hardy, because, you know, he can put a hurting on a ball. Three ball, 2 strike count. 2 down, bottom of the third. O'Hare again on second base. And ball 4 for Hardy. I think part of that credit has to go to Rory O'Hare at second base. Dave Nelson spent a little bit of attention time trying to keep him close at second base. Canuti is the batter. DHing for the pitcher. Canuti kind of squibs one off the end of his bat. No balls and 1 strike. Nelson not quite spending as much time and effort on O'Hare right now, trying to get Canuti. Canuti flares another one down the left field line that goes foul. No balls and 2 strikes. And the designated hitter batting 4th tonight. 2 ducks on the pond, no balls and 2 strikes. Drake Nelson in a great pitcher's count here. See if he can afford to waste 1 or 2 and see if he can get Canuti to do a little fishing. Canuti's got something in the eye. Takes care of things. Now he settles back in the box. Hardy on first base. Hare on second. No ball. 2 strike count to Canuti. Just a little bit low. Canuti with a great eye there. That ball was close, and he was able to hold off as it was just a little low. Great pitcher's pitch, though, from Drake Nelson. Exactly where you want that ball at 0-2. Very tough to make good contact with something in that bottom zone. 1 ball, 2 strike count. And the pitch. Canuti has one into the right fielder. Chris Taylor cruises underneath it, makes a nice catch. And that does it for the John Glenn Bobcats in the bottom of the 3rd inning. After 3, it's 2-1. John Glenn over Tawas. Back for the top of the 4th in just a moment here on BCTV.
Where did this rash come from?
Hold on, let me see.
Could be bed bugs. Oh. Mom, Grant says I have bed bugs.
Let's see what the doctor says.
Introducing Covenant Virtual Care. Real-time video doctor visits, e-prescriptions, and follow-up. Now extraordinary care comes to you.
See, it's just poison ivy. Smart pants.
Back for the top of the 4th inning as the Tawas area Braves head coach James Gorman wants to talk to Jimmy Martin. Brendan Woodford, the shortstop, is up to bat. So we'll see if they've got a potential change going on. As it looks like the Tawas area Braves are going to have a little activity in their bullpen. Ball just inside from Beaver to Whitford. Brendan Whitford, the number 3 hitter, the shortstop for the Tawas area Braves here in the top of the 4th inning. Ball to third base. Long throw over to Hardy. Cody Higgins with a nice arm. And the first out of the inning. Has certainly no worries on the pitch count from Brendan Beaver, as he has been around the strike zone for the most part in the first 3 1/3 innings of this ball game. As the ball hit to second base. Nice easy scoop there for Brill. Over to Hardy. 2 up and 2 down in the top of the 4th inning. So it's good to see the Tawas area Braves at least now starting to time those Beaver pitches just a little bit better. And have made some fairly solid contact. They got to get rid of that bat that's there. I figure if they can swing 2, they might have a better shot at making it happen. Jared Bodis, number 5 hitter and first baseman for the Tawas area Braves. Inside third of the plate. Beaver with a beautiful first pitch. Bodis digs in, down 0-1. Boy, what a great off-speed pitch at 64 miles an hour. Bodis looking heater. Could not hold back. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Beaver. It's outside. Great pitcher's pitch. Exactly where Beaver wanted to put that ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nice job by Bodis to lay off that outside offering. Another off-speed pitch. And that'll be strike number 3. That'll do it. After 3 1/2 innings, it's 2-1. John Glenn Bobcats over the Tawas area Braves. Back for the bottom of the 4th in just a moment on Bay County TV.
I thought I'd lost my business in that fire, but my agent was there before the flames were out. He said, together, we're going to rebuild. We've got 25 employees who depended on it, and that's all that mattered to me. My independent agent and auto owners made sure we didn't skip a beat. I mean, we didn't miss a single payroll. Incredible.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there. Auto Owners Insurance.
Plum Harris Insurance Agency in Bay City is your local independent auto owners insurance agency. Back here for the bottom of the 4th inning. Jeff Doan along with you, and boy, you look down there at the Brain Trust on the field. Of course, head coach Jeff Hart, number 20, Corey Schneider next to him, Rob Fisher, Drew Porter. Look who they pulled out of retirement, Tom Merkel. The old Bay 3 TV commentator worked with me 1,000 years ago back when we were both young. Good to see him there along with Rolando Facundo. What a great coaching staff for the John Glenn Bobcats. As, of course, Jeff Hart, longtime member of that 300 Club fraternity. One of only 7 in the history of Bay County to be in that 300-win fraternity. Just a class act. He and I go back many moons to the early 80s. Back when he lived at a place called the Boys Club, but it wasn't Boys Town. It was just a wonderful establishment that he lived with a couple of Bobcats named Dean Richards and Mike LaCourte. Oh, yes. Fun times were had right back at the mound. Great job that time of staying with it as Drake Nelson knocked it down, took a step, picked it back up, took his time, and threw a strike to Bodis at first base. 1 up and 1 down in the bottom of the 4th inning.
John Glenn sends up number 5, Blake Weibel, the batter's box.
Nice job defensively by Drake Nelson. just on the outside part of the plate, 65-mile-an-hour offering. As Drake Nelson's trying to do what he can to try and keep these John Glenn Bobcats off balance. Here's a fly ball to center field. It's a lazy fly ball. Nice job out there by Rudy Frank. Gobbles it up. 2 up and 2 down in the bottom of the 4th inning. So as you see young Zeke taking that ball back to the bat, back to the dugout for the next on-deck hitter. And always great to be a youngster, to be able to get to be a bat boy and look around at all the people that in another dozen years you'll be a high school player and you'll be looking down at another nice little bat boy and treating him like a king. First offering is back to the backstop. 1 ball, no strike. 2 down, bottom of the 4th, 2-1. John Glenn over Tawas. 1 ball, no strike count. Ball just dribbles foul off the bunt. No ball, 2 strike count. 1-1 the count. As had he been able to lay that bunt down, certainly playing back, James Gerber at third would not have had an opportunity to throw him out. So nice attempt. Just couldn't keep it fair. Dylan Mockry was doing a nice job as Mockry was out there to, if it didn't go far, was going to make a play on it. But it didn't stay fair. High and outside with the 2 ball, 1 strike count now. Looked like he tried to take a little bit off that last pitch and aimed it. It went high and wide. No damage done with nobody on base. 2 ball, 1 strike count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Just inside. What a tremendous job that time of getting out of the way. The John Glenn Bobcats with 2 down, trying to make something happen. Just inside once again, and that will be ball 4. As Facundo goes to first base with 2 outs. As the next batter is Cameron Rank. As he'll have an opportunity now with 2 down in the bottom of the 4th and a runner on first base being Facundo. There's a lazy fly ball to center field. Rudy Frank bangs the glove twice, makes a routine grab at the end of 4 innings of play. The John Glenn Bobcats 2 and the Tawas area Braves coming up to bat in the top of the 5th. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Back here at the top of the 5th inning. Up to bat to go to Sean. As he swings and misses on the first offering. Rudy Frank. Frank with a little lazy fly ball down the left field line. It's foul ball by an inch. Very, very close to hitting chalk. Jim Martin was all over that as he took about 5 or 6 strides down the third baseline to get a good unabated look at that lazy fly ball. Comes back, it's no ball and 2 strike count on Rudy Frank, the center fielder. Boy, Frank gave up on that ball and realized then that was a bender and they're going to hit the outside third. Tried the defensive swing to just foul it off. Couldn't make contact. The first out of the top of the 5th inning. That's the Tawas area Braves trying to dent that 2-1 deficit at the hands of the John Glenn Bobcats.
Number 6, Caden Spencer, your batting box for the Braves.
Caden Spencer is up. One ball, one strike. As he's batting for James Gerber. Just on the outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. 1 down here in the top of the 5th. From Dow Diamond, Jeff Doan, glad to have you along with us. Jared and Natalie Doan on camera. And Nick Page producing and directing. 3-1. As Beaver has missed the strike zone on 3 of the first 4 offerings here to this batter. Caden Spencer. And a ball low. Caden Spencer makes the most of his first at-bat of this game and finds himself on first base with 1 out. And Jonathan Wheeler is going to be up right now for Chris Taylor. So Jonathan with an opportunity. Just a little bit high. Getting an opportunity here with a runner on first base and 1 out. 77 miles an hour on that last fastball. Just a little bit tardy, Jonathan Wheeler. I think he might have been anticipating something off speed and just couldn't catch up to the heater at 75 miles an hour. Again, no balls and 2 strikes as Jonathan Wheeler just can't quite catch up to that last fastball. Again, another 75-mile-an-hour offering. Brevin Beaver has hit 82 at the top end of his fastball. And another strike, which is unofficially the 7th strikeout for Brendan Beaver. Still a runner on first base. 2 down here in the top of the 5th inning. John Glenn Bobcats in the home white with the blue trim. The Tawas area Braves in the red with the white trim. Right down the middle with that first offering to David Martin, the second baseman, hitting in that number 9 position in Coach James Gorman's lineup. Martin with just a little pop fly. And a nice catch out there by the groundskeeper. He pulled the lid off, and that might be going for one of the ESPN top 10 plays there. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Spectacular play. Pulls off the Loon's cap and snags a foul ball. Now, if you're at Coryell Field, you get a free bag of popcorn for that, but not here at the Dow Diamond. Ball fouled out of play. Martin tagging on the 2 in a row. So he's trying to time things here. Top of the 5th. 1 on and 2 outs. There's a little lazy pop fly into right field. As Hardy is the cutoff person, so runners at first and third as David Martin just serves one up into right field. That had eyes, and now we've got runners at first and third with 2 down here in the top of the 5th inning, and they go up to the top of the lineup to Drake Nelson to see if he can bring that duck home from the pond on third base. trying to pitch out of trouble. Brendan Beaver to the set. And a quick throw to first base and getting. He was heading to second base and could not get back in time. David Martin had taken that first step and didn't get back in time. What a great pickoff move to get him out of the inning at Beaver. Going to the bottom of the fifth, it's 2-1. John Glenn over Tawas. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
How's married life? Are you ready to have a baby? Baby, baby. How about that baby? Ooh. I'm not getting any younger.
When you are ready. With the only neonatal intensive care unit in the Great Lakes Bay region, Covenant is the safest place for your delivery. Go to mycovenantbaby.com.
Back here for the bottom of the fifth inning. Jeff Doan, glad to have you along on Bay County TV. Just outside with the first offering. Sontag, the first hitter. As Carter takes the first pitch outside. Second pitch a little bit high. 2 balls and no strikes. New pitcher for the Tawas area Braves. It's Dakota Shawn. And then Caden Spencer looks like he took over in left field. Just on the outside third. Nice 70-mile-an-hour fastball. 2 balls and 1 strike. To the number 9 hitter, Sontag, for the John Glenn Bobcats. Sontag asks for time. Jimmy Martin backs out and grants that time. Back for the 2-ball, 1-strike count. Just a little bit off. He tried to throw a curveball. That one was at 59 miles an hour, but Dakota Shawn didn't get the right release point, and that ball was right up in the eyeballs of Sontag. Another beautiful 69-mile-an-hour cheese. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Excuse me, the count is full with nobody out here in the bottom of the fifth. There's a little pop fly on the infield. Easy play for Brendan Whitford. Camps under it, calls it, and finishes the deal. 1 up and 1 down here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Back to the top of the lineup. And it will be Rory O'Hare. O'Hare's been on the base path today and looking to make it happen again. He takes a strike on the outside third, waist high. No balls and 1 strike. Just a little bit low and outside from Dakota Shawn. 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, Shawn, the new pitcher, here in the bottom of the fifth inning for the Tawas area Braves. Into the windup in the pitch. He is just having trouble getting a good feel. Snapping off that curveball at 56 miles an hour. It's 2-1. So if I'm up there and I'm Rory O'Hare, I am looking for nothing but fastball. He's not hasn't shown that he's got the ability to throw that curveball for a strike. And O'Hare does tag 1-1 here. Easy play in left field for the new left fielder, Caden Spencer, pulls it in. And we have got 2 up and 2 down here in the bottom of the fifth inning.
Next up for the Bobcats, number 7, Brendan Brill.
The number 2 hitter, Brill, comes up with 2 outs and nobody on here in the bottom of the fifth. Dakota Shawn has done a nice job in this inning since coming in. And we've got a foul ball. As Mockty and Dakota Shawn were both converging on that ball. No balls and 1 strike to count. Dakota Sean wasn't real happy with the moisture on that ball. It was a little wet in front of home plate. He decided he wanted to switch leather. The old rawhide. And just tried to get that by the pitcher, and he did. And there's going to be no play at first base, as he'll come back to the base. And just that moment of indecision, Dakota Sean, I believe, could have caught up to that ball, and that was the only chance they had to make a play on that. By the time it got to the second baseman, David Martin, he had no opportunity to make that play at first base. So now you bring up one of the more dangerous hitters for the John Glenn Bobcats. Runner on first base and 2 outs. Hardy's last at bat, he went to the left field line with the first ball, the right field line with the second offering, both of them just foul. So he's shown the ability to spray that ball to all fields. Just off the end of the bat, no balls and 1 strike. Had a pretty hittable waist-high fastball on the outside third of the plate. Just pulled off it a little bit. As Dakota Sean working out of the stretch here with a runner on first base and 2 outs. Big John Hardy up to bat. Hardy lays into one, but he pulls it foul as he hit that one a good 310 feet down the right field line. Couldn't keep it fair, was just a little bit out in front of it though. And I'll tell you, the youngsters flock like seagulls to a French fry trying to get that ball. And the prize is there. Oh yeah, back to the baseball action. No ball, 2 strike count. Dakota Sean trying to work out of a little mini jam. He's coming down to second base. And a much better job of staying on the bag with that slide, and a steal of second base for the John Glenn Bobcats as Brill gets second base. A couple of times in this ballgame in 2 separate innings, the John Glenn Bobcats have gotten to the next base and overslid and been tagged out. So that could have cost them a couple of potential rallies. Both of them would have put runners in scoring position, one at second and one at third. Hardy still with a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Dakota Sean taking his time. And Hardy steps out right now just at the last second as Dakota Sean was getting ready to pitch. Little cat and mouse game going on right now with the batter Hardy and the pitcher Dakota Sean. A little bit high again. Dakota Sean, that was the best of the curveballs that he's thrown at 57 miles an hour. Still cannot get that thing down in the strike zone to throw it for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes now, 2 outs. Runner on second. Foul ball right back on the screen. No screen, and we might have had ourselves another souvenir here back in the box, but absolute plush surroundings here at Dow Diamond. What a pleasure it is to do baseball from a complex like this. 2 balls and 2 strike count once again. Ball squibbed down the third base line, and we're going to have safe at third base as James Gerber tried to make a play down there at third. Oh, Dylan Mocktree. Mocktree could not make the tag in time, so runners on the corner now with 2 outs. As Jonathan Wheeler is the new catcher. Now we've got a pinch runner. Unfortunately, do not have the number for the young man. But Hardy does his job and moves the player forward. Up to first and third. James Gorman out to have a little chat on the mound, realizing the importance of the moment. Dakota Shawn needs to find a way to get this out and keep the Tawas area Braves within one. Coach Hart says, all I need is just one base hit. And the way that Beaver is throwing, I should be all set and have that 2-run lead. That extra run cushion is huge. As again in high school, you get 4 visits per game to the mound. Cannot have more than 2 in any half inning. So he was reminded of his trip count to the mound by our home plate umpire. Canuti up to bat right now. Fouls off the first offering. As Dakota Shawn gets out in front, 0-1. Runners on the corner with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning, 2-1. John Glenn on top over the Tawas area Braves. Dakota Shawn taking his time. Pitch to the outside. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Having some fun with that pitch runner at first base. I doubt in this situation he's going to look to take off, though. With a duck on the pond at third base. 1 ball, 1 strike count with 2 outs. Just inside. Canuti with a good eye. 2 balls and 1 strike. Gotta love that pitch, though, from Dakota Shawn. A lot of people don't like throwing to that inside third, and he wanted to make sure that Canuti didn't get too settled in the box here with his feet and dug in. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Canuti should get a good pitch to hit. And he delivers it into right field with a nice soft hit. He'll round first base with a nice RBI single as he brings Brill home. And it's 3-1 right now. The John Glenn Bobcats with an insurance run here in the bottom of the 5th. That will bring number 15 to the plate, Cody Higgins, with another runner on third base. And a chance to add to that now 3-1 lead for the John Glenn Bobcats. Dakota Shawn trying to work out of this jam. Just a little bit high. Cody Higgins with a nice job laying off that high offering. 1 ball, no strikes. Infield is in a couple of steps. Outfield shaded just a little bit to left field. That pitch is low and outside, 2-0. So now you're looking for something about the size of a postage stamp, and if you get that ball in your wheelhouse, you want to crank on it. Other than that, you let this 2-0 offering go bye-bye. Got a pitch he thought that he could handle, and he's just a tad bit tardy on it as that ball just rolls lazily into the grass over in the lawn seating. As the little kid gets there a little bit too late, well, the groundskeeper takes the ball and says, I'll have this. 2-1 the count. And right to the shortstop. Whitford is going to slide that thing over to first base. And that is the 3rd out of the inning. The John Glenn Bobcats pick up another run and find themselves up 3-1 going into the top of the 6th inning from Dow Diamond. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
All right, this is Adam. Take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
Back here with the top of the 6th inning. First hitter laces one to center field, off the center fielder Weibel's glove. And that is going to be on his way to third base. Will the relay throw be there in time? It is right on the bag and out at third base with a picture-perfect relay throw from O'Hare. As trying to stretch a double into a triple. And when you look at that, you go, oh. Coach Gorman says, I can't believe that. It took an absolutely picture-perfect throw from center field to the relay. The relay play to third was right ankle high on the bag. And the batter just slid right into the throw. Easy call for Mike Martin. Batter now is number 10, Dylan Mockty. As Drake Nelson got a double out of the deal, but could not stretch it into 3. Mockty with a 1-ball, 1-strike count here in the top of the 6th, down 3-1. The dealing from Beaver. 2 balls and 1 strike on that 74-mile-an-hour offering. Again here at Dow Diamond in the top of the 6th inning. A picture-perfect day. Wind starting to pick up out of the south. Foul ball back on the screen. There's a young man from Greenbush, way up north, ready to catch that ball, but the screen stopped it. Hit to the shortstop, right to O'Hare. He bobbles it, comes up with a gun at first base by a half a step. He gets Mockty out at first base. 2 up and 2 down now in the top of the 6th inning. What a nice job that time by O'Hare. He knocked it down in front of him, gathered it up, and came with a rocket-armed throw over to Big John Hardy at first base to get Mockty by half a step. Brendan Whitford, the number 3 hitter, up with 2 outs and nobody on here in the 6th. He changes that with a base hit, and that ball splits the outfield. Whitford is coming into second base where he'll come with a stand-up double with 2 outs. So not going quietly are the Tawas area Braves. Dakota Sean right now with an opportunity, a little base knock, and they'll be able to make things happen. Jeff Hart says, we're going to come out and talk things over right now. And he's going to make a pitching change. As Beaver does a tremendous job of getting him through the first 5 2/3 innings. Now pitching will be number 23, Troy Porter.
Number 24, Brendan Beaver leads the game with 9 strikeouts.
Unofficially, 9 strikeouts for Beaver. Troy Porter kind of overthrew that first pitch, and it whistled right back to the backstop. Old Jimmy Martin, the umpire, says, I think I'm going to cruise over here off to the side and don't have my mask on right now. I want to play things safe. When I show those pearly whites, I'd still like to have that count go up to 32. Porter coming with some heat here in the warm-ups, 83 on that last warm-up. Take a couple of more, and we'll be right back to the activities. As Dakota Sean's going to have to come up right now with a big hit to bring his team back within a run. Unless he can find a major gap or go yard and have a chance to tie this game. So looking to get the last out of the 6th inning. It'll be Troy Porter, the new pitcher for John Glenn. Again, a drop-dead gorgeous day. Opportunity to look at some of the fans here in attendance for today's game as they keep rolling in here. It was a little tough crowd at the beginning of the game, but at 4:30, a lot of people were not at work, but they're really cruising in, knowing that they're able to enjoy a drop-dead gorgeous late spring afternoon and early evening for baseball here at Dow Diamond. Jeff Doan, glad to have you along with us. Jared and Natalie Doan on the cameras. Nick Page producing and directing our show tonight. Just like Rod and Mario right now, we're trying to draw straws to see who's going to buy dinner. So we'll keep you posted on what's going on. Here is the pitcher, now hitter, trying to help out his cause, Dakota Shawn. The runner in scoring position and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. He's going to have to catch up to some 83, 84 mile an hour cheese to make contact. Just a little bit outside 85 on that first offering from Porter. That is serious stuff for a high school player. Right back up the middle. Shawn with an opportunity, and they are going to hold the runner at third base. Is doing a great job of getting in his Weibel. He got that ball in a hurry and probably thrown out at the plate if they would have sent the runner. So the pitcher, Dakota Shawn, up to bat doing his job. And now they have an opportunity for Jared Bodis, stepping up to the opportunity to bring them to within 1 or an extra base hit, potentially to tie the score. With 2 outs, they'll be going on contact. A little bit low and outside on that first offering from Porter. Jared Bodis looking to make it happen here in the top of the 6th. Bodis with a little soft one out to the mound. Porter taking his time, throws it wild, and just gets back to the base in time. Credit Big John there with just enough stretch to make it happen. We've played 5.5 innings. It's 3-1. John Glenn over Tawas. Back for the bottom of the 6th in just a moment here on BCTV.
You don't think it'll happen to you, and you surely don't think it'll happen twice. I've lost 2 homes in my lifetime. First, it was a fire. My agent was right there and helped me rebuild. Then the tornado hit and destroyed everything again. Both times, my independent agent and auto owners took care of me like someone takes care of family.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there. Auto Owners Insurance.
Plum Harris Insurance Agency in Bay City is your local independent auto owners insurance agency. Stop by our office at 706 South Euclid or give us a call to see how we can help with your home, life, auto, and business insurance needs. All right, Dylan Mockty, the new pitcher for the Tawas area Braves. And that moves Dakota Shawn now to third base. So Dakota's played left field, pitcher, and now third base. And they might as well try Dakota Shawn out and see if he can handle a bunt as they tried to go down his way. Smart move that time by Coach Hart to see just exactly what this multi-talented utility player for the Tawas area Braves. Of course, when you have 2 subs, you better be versatile at many positions, as the second pitch offering is not hit fair as Weibel finds himself in an 0-2 count. No ball, 2-strike offering. A little bit high. But the Tawas area Braves have really struggled trying to get that off-speed pitch over the plate, which really allows the John Glenn Bobcat hitters to just zero in on the fastball. Yep, an offering on that pitch and a strikeout for Mockney. For the first out of the bottom of the 6th inning.
Next up for the Bobcats, number 8, Joaquin Facundo.
Joaquin Facundo, the batter now, with 1 out and nobody on in the bottom of the 6th inning. Here at Drop Dead Gorgeous Dow Diamond. Pitch on the outside third of the plate. Hits on the black. 0-1 on Facundo. Mockney with a windup of the pitch, just a little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Joaquin just wants to put the bat on the ball and let his speed take over. Again, that 61-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch. They just seem to be sailing a little bit high. That release point just a little bit off for the Tawas pitchers this afternoon, but doing a nice job through almost 6 innings of work, only giving up 3 runs, one of their better efforts today to date. Two balls and 2 strikes to Joaquin. As Facundo steps out, readjust the gloves, tighten them up a little bit. 2 ball, 2 strike count with 1 out, nobody on here in the bottom of the 6th. That ball is going to the backstop. We now have a full count. Facundo's done a nice job and having a good eye. Bring this back to a full count. And a foul ball up over the screen. Gentleman from Cuckoll in Michigan hauls that last one in. Full count pitch to Facundo. Swing and a miss for the 2nd out. Mockney does a nice job of picking up 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Austin McKenzie will be hitting now. One of the best off-speed curveballs that we've seen from Tawas. Just couldn't find the zone with that. It was very close, though. And that went up high at 71 miles an hour. 2 balls and no strikes. Count to McKenzie, the pinch hitter here for the John Glenn Bobcats. Well, you look in that dugout, and they go from one end to the other of that dugout. Great to see numbers. There's just a little lazy fly ball into right field, and that is going to drop. So McKenzie gets himself into the scorebook. With a little looper down the right field line for a single. Finds himself at first base with 2 outs. It looks like we're going to have another pinch hitter, and this is going to be Rob Howard coming out. So Rob Howard with an opportunity to make something happen here with McKenzie at first base and 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. John Glenn Bobcats holding on to a 3-1 lead over the Tawas area Braves. And a beautiful day here at Dow Diamond. Howard takes that first pitch right down the middle. No ball, 1 strike count. Coming off the bench, you like to see 1 pitch before you whack, just to make certain that you got things timed out. Howard has that ball coming right back to the screen. Up over the screen and into the stands. Howard finds himself down 0-2. Mockty's in a great position here as a pitcher. These Tawas pitchers would love to have that foot at the right-hand first base side of the rubber. Howard in the hole at 0-2, trying to get some contact here to move McKenzie along. Strike three on a 62-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch, and Howard couldn't time it. At the end of 6 innings, it's John Glenn 3 and Tawas 1. Back for the 7th inning in just a moment on BCTV.
My name is Tom Izzo, the men's basketball coach at MSU. The threat of school violence is something that affects everyone and needs to be taken seriously. OK to Say is a confidential way you can report anything that threatens your safety or the safety of others. If you see or hear something that doesn't seem right, submit a tip to OK to Say. You can call, text, email, go online, or use the OK to Say app. You could be the one person who helps to prevent a tragedy.
Back here for the top of the 7th inning. 3 outs, and the John Glenn Bobcats will have a victory in the column. As Frank is the first hitter of the top of the 7th inning. Rudy Frank, the center fielder. Seeing if he can get a little rally going here for the Tawas area Braves. Outside third of the plate, 82-mile-an-hour cheese. 1 ball and 1 strike. Porter out of the set. That one just a little bit low and in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. It's Troy Porter trying to finish it off here to get the last 4 outs. Came in with 2 outs in the bottom of the top of the 6th. Little flare down the right field line. Hardy just cannot stretch out to get that. Missed it by an inch. New life for number 4, Rudy Frank. What an effort from the big fella out there. If he picks that thing up, then old Nick Page is going to be sending a little something back to ESPN again, and we'll make it a yearly thing here. If he'd have been 6'6" instead of 6'3", he would have had a chance. Strike 3. As Frank just couldn't pull the trigger on that offering. And with 1 out in the top of the 7th. That flamethrower for the John Glenn Bobcats just keeps throwing heat. Porter out of the stretch. Doesn't take much time. Overthrew that first pitch at 82 miles an hour. One ball and no strikes. 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. 3-1 John Glenn Bobcats in the lead. Right by an 80-mile-an-hour offering. Right at the top of the zone. Caden Spencer finding himself in an 0-2 hole. That ball shoots back to the backstop. 83 miles an hour. Porter tried to put a little extra juice on it. It goes low and in the 5 hole of the catcher. Sante. And strike number 3. Does a very nice job. As Porter just keeps throwing the heat. It's Taylor with the last opportunity to make something happen here for the Tawas area Braves. And the first pitch, an off-speed offering at 67 miles an hour. When you're gearing up for 83 and you see 67, just can't hold that bat back long enough to make contact. Porter again, he doesn't take much time, sends it right down the middle at 85 miles an hour. The hottest cheese he's thrown here since coming in the 6th inning. No balls and 2-strike count. 2 outs down to their last strike, the Tawas area Braves. And strike 3, and that's the ball game. As the John Glenn Bobcats come away with a big 3-1 victory over the Tawas area Braves. We'll be back in just a moment to put the wraps on this game right here on Bay County TV.
You treat your family with extraordinary care every day, which is why when it comes to their health, more of you choose Covenant Healthcare. We specialize in extraordinary care, from diagnosis to recovery, from babies to grandparents. Learn more about our extraordinary bariatrics program. Sign up for our free seminar.
Good evening now, and welcome back to our post-game show, sponsored by Plum Harris Insurance Agency today. I'm Jeff Doan, along with a ball game that showed us a 3-1 victory for the John Glenn Bobcats. Jeff Hart's team just toughed out a victory. Porter came in and just threw some heat at the end of the last 4 outs of the ball game for the John Glenn Bobcats to come away with a much-needed victory over the Tawas area Braves. Tawas area Braves arguably played their best game of the year, falling just a little bit short, but only giving up 3 runs to a very talented John Glenn team. So they really have a lot to be proud of tonight, but they just couldn't get the offense to go against the John Glenn Bobcats. So the Bobcats are going to come away with a big 3-1 victory. Jeff Hart and his coaching staff have done a phenomenal job this year. As for many, many years, he's in that 300 club for victories, as he's made it happen over decades. So it's been a lot of fun here from Dow Diamond. Glad you could be along with us. Again, remembering that the score tonight, 3-1. The John Glenn Bobcats come away with a big victory over the Tawas area Braves. Have a great night, one and all. We'll talk to you soon.